Live from Detroit.
Yo, what up, though? It's your man, Jay Johnson, a.k.a. the tinfoil hat titan, a.k.a. the conspiracy realist, a.k.a. the technology snob, Steve Jobs Jr. Don't text me with your green bubbles, a.k.a. I only debate my equals, everybody else I teach. Also known as Juice, because all the hoes say J.U. Ice, Young Caesar, because you know you can't run without me. Mister, if you don't like me, fight me. I got kicked out of Noah's Ark because they couldn't find another animal just like me. A.K.A. the West Side T'Challa, the new leader of Wakanda. Don't debate me, debate your mama. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. What up?
What up, though? And it's your man Dame, 3_313, the West Side landlord, the pride of PA, High Chief Dame, don't fuck around, the liquor store legend, the corner store conquistador, your mama's favorite Dame, and the David Ruffin of the Shop Talk Podcast, because you know who they came to see. Not you, Otis. It's no better than these 4 letters. Thank God for Dame. And if you're speaking on Dame, you better say it nice. And if you don't put the boss in front, then bitch, you're not saying it right. Let's go.
Yo, welcome back. Shop Talk Podcast, episode 306. On you hoes.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I feel like it was room 206 or 306. I can't remember, but that was the detention room in high school.
Okay. How much time did you spend there?
I was a relatively good kid, but I mean, I've been there a couple times.
I had so much detention that I owed in 12th grade that I was leaving school every day at 6 o'clock for like the last half of 12th grade.
I think detention kind of stupid, especially some shit like that. Because I
had a 1 to 8 because I fucked up. So my schedule was ending at 4 o'clock every day.
Like keeping me at school longer because I don't think that
because I wasn't good in school.
I owed time. Like I don't think this punishment works like that.
So I was leaving school about 5:30 every day.
Well, it's not that I don't like punishment for the sake of punishment. Because like when it's clear that this not doing nothing, all right, let's just stop this.
I mean, I did shit to earn it. I'm not saying I was innocent in any stretch, but I did shit to earn.
No, what I'm saying is giving you detention didn't stop you from doing whatever you're doing.
Oh no, I was still hella insubordinate up until my last days.
So if whatever my punishment isn't working, now you're just doing it for the sake of doing it because you quote unquote have to do something about it, and that's just ineffective. Like you got to find another way. Not just I'm gonna give you the same punishment over and over. Like all right. It ain't working, but I
mean, in 12th grade, I wanted my time, but, whatever.
You didn't want it that much.
I mean, I wanted it up until the point they caught up to me and it was like I couldn't walk if I didn't do all the detention that I had left.
And it's like, you gonna catch me while I'm about to be an adult now. Like, what is this about to do?
I mean, that's just like I didn't care about walking, but like my mama could not see me not walk across the stage. Like that just wasn't.
You think that it really kept you from graduating? You think about it in the grand scheme of things, like how important is this?
I don't know. That's the shit. No, I take that back because like my homeboy me and my nigga got into some trouble like the week before graduation, and they came to him. They was like either prom or graduation. You can't do both.
I get it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But like, what?
So he came to prom and they turned him away because like you chose graduation, my nigga. You can't come in.
I guess. I'm kind of a, anti everything. So I don't know, man.
I mean, I was just trying to get through, man. I almost didn't graduate. So, I mean, I didn't need nothing else to fuck it up.
Anyway, man, how was your week, my brother?
Dog, I got a good story time with Dame. We've been doing this podcast for quite some time now. And from the inception of the podcast was right around the time I lost my license. Dog, I am $150 and a road test away from being back legal on the motherfucking streets, dog. It has taken me almost 6 years, well up to about 10 grand, and it's $150 in a road test, and I will be back legal on the streets. So I had to go get my plate like squared away. when I went to the Secretary of State, she pulled up. I got a letter back in October, first of all, that said I'd get my license back. But like, as a skeptical nigga, I just don't believe shit. I was like, they fucking with me. So I had to go to the Secretary of State because my plate had expired. I had to get a new plate, change the registration and shit on the vehicle. And I just asked the girl, I was like, I came in with the letter. She pulled up my information. She's like, you got to take the written test. You got to take a road test. And
Can you pass a road test? And I don't mean that as if you can't drive, but like I'm not so far removed from driving the standard way, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm a little worried because the first time I took my road test, like back in the day, I didn't pass the parallel parking part. And it's not really like...
You got to take your car?
Yeah.
You ain't parallel parking to that truck.
And parallel parking ain't really like my strong suit. So I got to find somebody, number one, that's going to let me drive their much smaller car. And then...
Is that even a thing when I'm like, my car got a camera? Like I can parallel park in general, but my car got a camera. What if you're the Tesla? The boy parked for you. It's like...
I don't know, but I'm gearing myself up, dog. I'm ready.
Man, congratulations.
I said when I was 40, I wasn't doing like no more nigga shit. Like I wasn't gonna be living by hook or by crook no more. Like I done did 40 years of it. I just want to be a regular civilian, tax paying, regular 9-to-5 person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. I'm looking at the finish line. I can't touch it yet, but like I'm in that last stride.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm in that last stride, so I'm ready, dog. I'm ready.
Man, I hope you can drive in peace again, because there's got to be a level of anxiety when you drive to work every day, knowing that your L's is bold.
It's always stress because I know that anytime if I get pulled over at any time, I can go to jail. And I ain't been to jail now in like 4 years, and I never want to go back. My last time in jail was so dehumanizing. I said, like, dog, I'm never going to go through this again. I don't know what I'm going to have to do, but I'm never going through this type of experience again.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, my brother.
Man. I feel there was a weight lifted up. Like, I legit shed a tear sitting in the Secretary of State parking lot because I'm like, it's almost over. It's almost over. I've been praying about it all week because it literally gave me anxiety up until Wednesday. Like I was not sleeping good. I had the bubble guts all week. Like I literally had anxiety all the way through there. And I knew something was going to go right because I walked into the Secretary of State and just off happenstance, I saw my daughter and her mother there. And my baby girl was just like chilling, playing in her phone. And like I sat next to her and it surprised her because she, I wasn't expecting to see her. She wasn't expecting to see me, but I felt like that was my sign. Like it's going, like your baby is here. Like it's got to go well.
Cue the Ice Cube music. Today was a good day.
It was, man. $150 in a road test and I'm back out here.
Now, I got a problem with the state of Michigan.
What's that?
I think we got away from these, but these driver responsibility fees that kept so many people.
That's what was killing me.
Not able to get out from under all this debt. Like, okay, I did something bad. I got a ticket. I paid my fine. And now you're going to charge me every year for the next 4 years for the same thing I did 4 years ago?
Yeah.
In a city where
people were misappropriating funds and taking my money and doing whatever the fuck they wanted to with it.
And then you know what the median income is in the city? Like what are y'all doing?
Driver's responsibility fees was,
they
was keeping me down. And that's why they got rid of
systematically.
It is.
If you want to go that route.
That was Granholm's like claim to fame. And that shit was keeping me, because depending on the offense, some of them lasted 2 years, some of them lasted 4 years, and they were compounded. Yeah. So like,
well, that was for the entire state, so it may not be necessarily racist, but
no, it is. That's killing black folks, man. This is killing niggas. For me to have to pay $250 for the fine, court costs.
And what the issue is, and a lot of them times you're getting tickets for not having car insurance, but because you live in the city of Detroit, your car insurance is either as much as your vehicle or even more. So every time I get a ticket, I'm gonna have to pay money like in perpetuity, like it's forever.
Yeah. There was no way out under that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm almost out though.
I need them to refund some people some money, like they allegedly doing with this $400 check for.
I'll see it once I get the check. Checks in the mail. That's what they're telling you. Checks in the mail.
Anyway, we got a special guest this week.
Long time coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Long time coming.
I'm gonna let him introduce himself. I know he heard our intros. Maybe he was writing some intros himself when he was over there. I don't know, but we'll let him do an introduction. No pressure.
No, I don't have an intro, guys, but glad to be on the show, Colin Mays.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you.
How was your week, my brother?
It was good, man. Just working hard, or hardly working, depends on the week. But this week was definitely working hard. So glad to be on the podcast. It's been a while coming. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here.
You reached out a while ago, and I'm horrible with responding to social media. I got
because we got another DM in there that's been in there since December. Somebody asking to come on the show. I'll show it to you later.
See, I'm horrible, right? I got like 7 pages though. It's too much. And I got 3 phones now, by the way. Got this work phone, I got this phone, I got the studio phone.
Is the work phone an iPhone?
All of them are iPhone.
Are you on call with your new job?
No, I don't, not really.
So what you need a work phone for?
I got a work phone and a work iPad and a work laptop.
So you can work from home? Like, I feel like all that technology is just for them to tether you even more.
Yeah, well, could be, could not be. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's been working out though.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the little work shirt you got on. Is that, what are those, birds?
It's a dog.
Oh.
It's a dog.
Look like birds from this perspective.
Yeah, in any event, it's been a long time coming. I'm definitely glad we got you in here, my brother.
Gonna talk about some politics,
some health, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, well-rounded.
Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about for sure.
Okay, I'm with it. And
I'm all about promoting, Black positivity, especially Black men positivity.
Okay, I can get with that. So Jay, we got some. Did anything happen this week? Because well, first of all, man, a piece of my childhood died this week, and it's been bothering me. Shout out to big blessings to Last Call, Scott Hall, one of the greatest intercontinental champions of all time.
One of the reasons I bought this belt, you know what I'm saying? I think the Intercontinental Championship
that was the
belt
working man's title.
It's one of the best belts that you can possibly get. And Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, who else?
Ultimate Warrior.
Like them was like the British Bulldog.
When you won the IC title, that was kind of like putting a rub, like you were possibly going to be the next heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I just love this belt, man. So I had to buy one. But Scott Hall, he did the belt good, man.
63 years. I definitely got that age wrong because I thought that man was in his 50s.
No, man, I'm not that old.
You are though. You're about to be 40 in like a couple weeks now.
This is true.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
Are we doing anything for 40 for you?
I thought I was going to be able to go to New Orleans. That was my plan.
Okay.
But I don't got no time at this new job until I get 90 days. So
okay,
that's out.
No party? No dinner?
I don't know.
Okay.
I literally have no idea.
I feel like we should do something. Cheyenne had a birthday and we couldn't. Shout out to Motor City Oprah. She normally has a celebration, but she let us down. Well, I'm not going to say she let us down. She just in a better space. She didn't want to celebrate like that this year, and we appreciate it. We just happy to see another year of life for all our friends and family.
That's a fact. I don't know, man. This week was kind of slow. I ain't really been keeping up with nothing. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, I asked a question a couple weeks ago, and this week did not help me get the answer to this question. Is there a war going on between Russia and the Ukraine?
I feel like there is some type of unrest, but I think like some of that shit might be a little sound stage-ish.
I just don't know. Well, it's not even I don't know, but a lot of the stuff that's been passed around social media, I'll use that as it's just not real. Like it's not videos of the Ukraine. Like they took some stuff from like video games, and I say they, not like.
I saw a video with Klitschko. He was like down on the ground somewhere near a bombing, allegedly.
And you saw a video with the president of Ukraine, in, military gear, but that was like from last April. But they floating that picture around like, yo, I'm right here fighting. He didn't say he was out there fighting, but the picture is floating around there that gives you the impression like, yo, this is what happened. They had somebody they had like pictures and videos from Kosovo from years ago. I just don't know.
I'm a little on the fence about how much fighting is going on. Do I think that
that's the scary part? Because it could be really, really bad and we not seeing it, or it could be nothing and who knows?
I've never seen like what war looks like firsthand. So I mean, and I'm just a nigga. I'm skeptical about anything just in general.
Remember they said the revolution will be televised. The revolution is probably gonna be photoshops. Oh. We just don't know when we
filters. We gonna get filters on it.
I mean, they literally took there was and I don't want to keep saying they, but there was
the media or the spin they putting on it.
And it's like, I haven't seen we are inundated with posts that we see on social media that get shared by people that we like or we trust. And then we just take it as like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And like, yo, this is not real. This was from a movie. Remember, I posted a video.
Everybody in them body bags. Yeah. And my man was on the ground moving.
Yeah, the body bag started moving. And they went and like adjusted the body bag and like, all right, chill out.
Like the camera's on.
Like, yeah. But then somebody was like, somebody said like, oh, actually those weren't real body bags. That was like a protest in Russia. And that was their protest, acting like there were body bags on there. But then somebody else in the comments
said something different. The people were speaking Russian, so we have no idea what they were really saying. Like,
fam, everybody's feet. First off, I shouldn't see everybody's feet in the body bag. Like the feet were sticking out. Like,
I mean, maybe if you're in a rush, you don't close them all just yet. I don't know what proper body bag procedure is.
I would like to know what's going on over there, I guess. But
I know it's not probably funny, but every time I see a body bag, I think of like battle rap. Man, body bag.
Yo,
body bag. Put your body in a body bag.
Rest in peace to Tech Nine. I don't know.
Oh man.
No, you can't rest in peace to Tech Nine.
No, it has something to do with kids, man. That's too close. Too close.
In any event, if y'all don't know what we talk about,
just let it go.
Just watch just watch Smack URL, something like that. In any event, so listen, man. A couple when you initially reached out before, you mentioned that you were putting together like a Alzheimer's walk. Can you give us a little bit more information about that?
Sure. So last year I served as the chair for Detroit's Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was really personal for me. I had two grandparents that suffered from Alzheimer's. We as Black Americans, we are more likely to develop Alzheimer's in the course of our life than any other race. And that's a sad statistic that a lot of people don't know. So it was personal for me. And we had a really good, successful fundraising effort. We had a lot of team members involved. And it was at the Detroit Zoo back in October.
Okay.
So they asked me to do it again this year, but I just couldn't do it again 2 years in a row. But
it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. But it was rewarding work, and it was something that I would do again. I'm still involved in the association, just not serving in the chair capacity.
Okay.
Well, why do we have a higher propensity to come down with that than any other race?
I think a lot of it is just health issues that we might have. We don't typically have access to good quality food, same good quality food as other races might have. We got to do as much as we can to just kind of continue to stimulate our mind. I'd say little things like playing chess or, trying to remember what you did even, a couple weeks ago. Little things like that can really help. We'll make sure that we're drinking enough water. I try to drink 1 gallon a day just to.
It's interesting that you say that. Dick Gregory, right? Years ago, this is an old clip he had floating around, and he basically said Alzheimer's come from not drinking water. And Dick Gregory always say stuff that sounds like he know what he's talking about, and I'm not trying to say that as a slight because he usually does know what he's talking about. And he was like, he wasn't joking. He was like, ask someone with Alzheimer's last time they were thirsty. I'm like, well, technically, asking him a question about whatever.
When the last,
Yeah. But he went on, and I mean, he spoke about 5 or 6 minutes about how, how the body is made up of water and how important it is or whatnot, and how important drinking water is. And so when you mentioned that you should probably drink water, I'm like, oh, that probably was coming from somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, our body is, over 70% is water.
Yeah.
I went through a physical transformation myself. I dropped 200 pounds in 4 years. And a big way that I was able to do that. Yeah. I mean,
that's a whole person for sure.
It's a whole person. Yeah. But I mean, the way I was able to do it was just, of course, discipline, watching what I was eating, when I was eating. Your body it's a lot like taking a test, right? Like I can't absorb everything within 5 hours and then be able to process it. It needs time to fast.
Yeah.
So I try to give my body a 13 to 14 hour window. So like if I have something at 5 p.m., I'm not going to eat again until 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. the next morning because my body needs to process, okay, what did I put into it?
Okay.
And, I don't drink alcohol, just me personally.
Yeah.
I'm not telling people you can't drink alcohol, but I personally don't. I just drink water. And I make sure that I put enough water in my body so that I can fuel my body.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the diseases that we have are because we don't have a strong enough immune system.
Right.
I exercise every day. So I'm on that elliptical for like 35, 40 minutes every morning, just knocking it out.
Boy, that elliptical is something different, man.
Yeah. It's a workout.
That's that full body.
That's that full body
workout.
That's that full body.
I guess 10 years ago when I tore my Achilles, prior to, we hit the gym, working out every day. Matter of fact, the day I tore my Achilles, I ran outside for like 3 miles. And then that night we had a pickup game. We was playing at some gym in Southfield. And like, I just think I did way too much that day. Right. But I'm so used to running, but I had this boot on my leg. So once I got off the boot, your muscles got atrophy. So my right calf is bigger than my left calf. My left calf is is not there. But I couldn't run on a treadmill quite yet. So I jumped on that elliptical because your foot is pretty much stationary. Man, that's like one of the best workouts I done ever had. Dog.
I mean, but I know what you're talking. I went through that same thing. I was on a boot for like almost a boot and a cast, literally for almost a year's time. And like, it's more than just the workout. Like your balance isn't there. Your equilibrium is off because one leg has been so dependent on a false level of support. Like walking again was like a challenge for me.
Yeah. We did that weight loss joint at the gig a couple years ago. I collected the money from everybody and I didn't want to give it back. So I just had to win. So I would hit that elliptical before 6 o'clock in the morning before I went to work, after work. Damn near 3 times a day, I was just on that elliptical. I dropped like 22 pounds. Like I was literally in the best shape of my life.
Comcast made us fat.
On water, brown rice and veggies and grilled chicken. And that was it. Every day, same thing. Same thing every day.
That Foreman grill was changing your life.
Yeah. I think it's really when you control what you put in your body knows what's going to come into it every day. Pause. And then you got enough energy to burn that and it goes where it needs to go.
When you were speaking about Dick Gregory, I remember a clip saying him that like stay away from anything white in your diet. Sugar, flour, salt, white rice, like all of those things are completely terrible for your body and for the human diet. And milk, like you shouldn't be consuming white things inside of your body.
Yeah. I read the book How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad, and he broke down foods that we should eat and we shouldn't eat, not because of like a religious reason, but like certain things that are edible that the human body just are in the stomach is not available or not made to break down. And he talked about the fasting portion of when they eat. He also said they only eat 1 meal a day. And you'll live.
I can't do that now.
I tried.
That's a lot.
I tried for a while. You know what I'm saying? I got to get back their place mentally, but it was a certain time of day that they eat. And I mean,
but fasting is more about just like diet control. Like that's also like it it goes into great detail, like in the Bible. Like it's a religious experience to fast, because you are usually fasting in conjunction with, you know, some type of prayer, and a goal attached to that prayer is the reason behind that fasting. And maybe I've never read Eat to Live, but I would have to say the book probably has some type of religious undertones to it, and fasting has to be attached to it in some sort of way.
Well, I know people do fast for different religious reasons, but when you think about the word breakfast, is when you eat and you break your fast from the night before. And it basically saying like the food that we eat, the digestive process never completes because we eat and start that process over again. Like your body never finished digesting and putting the nutrients where it's supposed to be because you ate again and you started that process all over. So even if it's like just drink water while you doing that fast, I think he said like not even tea or like Kool-Aid or juice, because that can still start that process. And he also was like, your stomach or your body is only going to digest food so many times, period. Yeah. And the more that you eat, he said if your doctor tells you to eat 5 and 6 times a day or more than one meal a day, tell your doctor that you're going to live longer than him. And I was like, interesting.
Well, and I think the thing too, the portions matter. You know, I mean, you can eat like, you know, one huge meal, right? Or you can have, you know, moderate 3 solid, like smaller meals, you know what I mean? So it all matters. But I think in America, we're just so obsessed with food. Yes. What's the first thing you do when somebody comes into town? What do they want to do?
Let's take them somewhere to eat.
Go something to eat. You're bored. What do you want to do? Let's order a pizza. You know, let's catch up. Let's just go have food, you know? So it just becomes...
Go to the bar, have some wings.
Have some wings, man. You know, so it just becomes like an obsession for us, you know, and for us as blacks, you know, we're taught to just eat, you know, clean your plate. So
I mean, shit, when you want to go on a date with a woman, like that's typically like the first. Well, where you want to go to dinner?
She wants to eat. Yeah,
because they always hungry. Yeah. They're always hungry.
That's so crazy, man. We literally had this conversation at work today about eating is so cultural and emotional and habitual, because you know it's 8 o'clock in the morning. This is when you wake up. You know you just go grab whatever you normally get. And like one of the reasons that you can kind of pick out this is like, you ever get busy at work and forget to eat?
Yeah.
You're not hungry when you're not thinking about it. You know what I mean? And like our health issues that we be having, I be like, I don't know if this runs in my family or our culture is what runs in my family. If grandma says you can't get up from the table until you finish eating, and there's a lot of food on the plate, then you gonna eat all that food, right?
Yeah.
Now, what if you don't have the highest metabolism and you eat all that food? And then when you grow up, I watched grandma cook. She gave me the recipes. So I'm going to make the exact same food that grandma made the exact same way. And that's how I'm going to feed and treat my kids. And then now, I don't know if it's in my blood that you're going to have high cholesterol, or did the habits that you picked up from
you just
years and
down.
years and years of culture has an impact on you. So it's like,
yeah. And then we ostracize each other so much for our food choices.
Tell me about it.
Oh, you vegan? Oh, you a pescatarian? Like it's people like say it and snicker like, oh, so all you eat is fish? Like, or maybe all I'm eating is trying to live.
Or when I say I don't like fish, I don't like seafood. Oh
you poor. You're palate.
Get your palate. Like, nigga, I don't like fish. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm saying, if it don't taste good, it don't taste good. Like,
I feel you. But people snicker so much at your food choices. I mean, for me, you know, I'm not saying. Well, I went through some health concerns myself, and I lost a lot. I didn't lose quite 200, but I lost probably closer to like 80 pounds going through my health concerns. And when it happened, you know, and after I had lost the weight, I just knew what bad habits kind of put me in that position. Now, I'm not saying I probably still don't eat those foods, but like, you know, there was a point in my life where I was eating at Capers, you know, every other week, if not more than that a month. And, eating a 22-ounce steak, loaded baked potato, and, they got a drink at Capers called a Shady Lady, which is full of liquor. I mean, eating that in my late 20s and thinking like I'm going to be a Superman and I can live like this forever. I mean, I was probably like tailoring back years of my life even at that point. And I know those poor diet decisions led to, putting me in a position that I ended up eventually getting into.
Yeah, so. Man, the loaded baked potatoes, though, they'll do it for you, man.
Yeah,
good,
it will.
So.
I stopped eating pork 10 years ago. Well, 2010, so 12 years ago. Oh, I still love bacon. I still love the taste of pepperoni and ham. I haven't had it in such a long time.
It'll make you sick now.
Sometimes I'll be willing to find out, but no, that's interesting. So, losing 200 pounds, how long ago was that?
Let's see. I started that in 2016, and I dropped it by like 2018. So like 2 years to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So how was that process for you, like physically as well as like mentally and emotionally? Because I know that's probably three different things.
Probably top two hardest things I've ever done in my life, for sure.
What prompted it? Did you just wake up one day and was like, I can't do it no more? Or was it like... Everybody has that tipping point. What was yours?
It's so funny. People always ask me that. I don't really know if I had a specific defining moment where it's like, let me just. But I've figured that if I actually put my mind to it, because I'm the type of person, if I put my mind to it, it's done. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really tried it before, so I said, okay, I'm just going to devote myself to losing 20 pounds. Right. And it's like the first 20 went off like that. And I was like, well, damn, okay, let me devote myself to losing another 20. And the next 20 went off. But the more I lost, the harder it got. So I had to elevate myself to different levels. So that's when I started introducing fasting. That's when I completely eliminated the soda drinks. That's when I, had I have one cheat meal a week, so I'll still do this. So it could be anything. It could be like, Chinese food, pizza. I'll just have it on either like a Saturday or a Sunday, just one day out the week, and everything else I'm meal prepping the entire week. But of course, incorporating the physical component. You can't be afraid to do the physical, because the physical is what's going to keep you in the groove. And, I've lost motivation since 2019. I'm just disciplined now. So I'm just disciplined to wake up and just do it. So
okay. So had you spent your life as like a lot? Because I've been
big boy.
I've been fat my whole life, essentially. Yeah. Like after high school, like I remember the first time like I stepped on the scale and I was like 200, but I was like, oh, it's man weight. Yeah. But I never forget, there used to be a rap group, Marv One, and I don't want to say and the Fat Killers, but Marv One was a member of the Fat Killers. They had come out with a mixtape called Ride or Diet. And I remember the flyer on the show said if you were heavier than 250, you got in free. And there was a scale at the door. Oh. And I remember stepping on that scale and I was like, wow, I'm 260 pounds. Like, and in my mind, 250 was like fat. Like that's where you start crossing over to the other side. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, dog, you really fat. Like 250 is a lot of weight.
Well, let's not forget to, your height plays a factor too. So if you're somebody that's over like 6'5", you could carry 250.
Yeah.
But if you're shorter than that, then 250.
6'1", 250.
That's a problem.
Closer to the ground. Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So like, how did you feel like as a inside, right? So did people start treating you differently or like?
I think I probably got some more respect from it. But I didn't do it for them.
Yeah.
I did it for me. I don't live my life based on what somebody else thinks or perceives me. I'm just doing who I am.
Yeah.
But I think that it taught me a lot about myself. And it taught me a lot about how to go through something very challenging, very difficult, how to suffer and come out stronger from it.
Persevere.
Yeah.
I remember I just remember when I lost all of the weight, the first thing I did was go shopping. Because I said, I'm not restricted to the big and tall section anymore in life. I can wear regular off the rack clothes and I don't have to go to Destination XL another day.
Yeah. I used to go there too. So yeah. I get it.
Destination XL, huh?
Yeah. A big dude can't get fresh. Like it's there. The stores are there. You just got to go in there. And don't be afraid.
It costs more money, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
your normal polo hoodie is definitely going to cost you $170.
I got to lose about, I think I want to lose 30 pounds. I'm 220. I want to go back down to about 190.
Okay.
What's your height though?
I'm 6 feet even.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When I tell people I'm 220, they don't be like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I weigh myself in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But when I was like 190, like I felt like the best I've felt. You know what I mean?
Do you work out at all now?
Currently, my workout is me walking the dog every day.
Okay.
But because I literally, after I work a job, I come to the studio, I don't have the free time to hit the gym as I used to. You know
right,
what I'm
I got
saying?
you.
So what that means is I have to be more disciplined with the food that I take and do other things like inside the crib. I'm about to go buy one of the boxing joints, put it in the garage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because that's a full body workout. Just hitting the fucking bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I thought you was going to say like a Peloton or something.
no, I'm not. I don't need to spend $4,000 for some shit I'm never gonna do. Put that fucking bag in the garage. I'm gonna hit that goddamn bag. You know what I'm saying? Because I love boxing and I'm gonna hit the game. I'm gonna hit the bag. But I'm like, you know what? So this was today is
The 18th?
March 18th. Roughly, I got 28 days before my birthday. I'm gonna try to drop 15 pounds in the next month.
Okay, you can do that. 15 pounds is feasible. You can do that.
For sure. And since I said it publicly, y'all can
Now you're
check me
committed
on
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Macho do the water check-in every day,
For sure.
making sure everybody getting they proper amount of H2O.
Yeah. And I like that it's getting a little bit warmer now. A little bit warmer.
Man, we hit 70 yesterday.
Yeah. So I can, when it be cold as fuck outside, we not walking 3 miles, Umar. Like I'm not walking the dog for 3 miles when it's super duper cold outside.
Yeah.
I walk around the block a couple times and that's about it. But when it get a little bit, when it's warm outside, he waking me up at 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning. We can go out, get 2 miles in before I get ready for work and everything like that. It's the meal prep.
It's the meal prep. It's the meal prep.
Because I don't have a lot of time. My time is very limited. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't prep, then it's like, fuck, let me pull up at rallies. Let me pull up at, and you start eating the poison and shit. And now
I'll tell you what, I hate lunch meetings. I will never take a lunch meeting. Anybody invites me to lunch, I'm not going. I eat my own lunch. So you invite me to lunch, I'll bring my own lunch. So don't be offended. I tell people that. So don't ask me to go anywhere between 12 to 1. I'll go with you. I'm not going to eat there. And that's, I think, the toughest part because, again,
That's
like
discipline.
we said,
Yeah.
like we said earlier, it's all about food now. Anytime you want to do anything, it has to be related to food.
And I have like a similar policy like that. Not that I don't, because to me it's bigger than just the meal also. Like I feel like I need that break in the middle of the day to completely separate from work. Because, I'm still fortunate enough with my job. I'm working from home. So, there's nothing for me to.
That's lucky, brother. That's
it is. But it's nothing for me to like make a sandwich or grab some salad. Or like this week I just made myself some salmon during my lunch break. But like I need, even if I do not eat, I just need that separation in the middle of the day because a huge thing that I see a lot of people preach and I just think is just nonsense. It's like that continuous need to go nonstop. Oh, you shouldn't sleep more than, like you need your rest. Your body needs to recharge. And if you do not give your body that recharge, it'll tell you when it's time to shut down.
Hell yeah. When I drove home from work today, before I came to the studio, I was damn near falling asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? So when I got home, I just took a nap right quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, look, your body gonna tell you when it's time to go to sleep, and you rather you not be behind the wheel of a car. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? When it's time. Yeah, man. So off days is important. Scheduling some time for yourself is important. Because your body. At this point, this is the only body that we got, and we gotta take care of it because every day we get older. And, metabolism slow down, food get worse and worse.
Yeah.
Well, when you were talking about, watching when we eat and everything, if we're keeping it 100, our food is poisoning us. The
Yeah,
food that we got is
Yeah.
literally the reason. This is just me speaking. The reason that we got all these different diseases and foods is, all these diseases and health concerns is because of the food.
The food we have access to. You go out to Novi, you go out to Northville, you go out to Shelby Township.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have all that.
Yeah.
They have real
You ain't gonna
food.
see no Checkers out in Shelby Township.
You have real food. You have access to real food. We have access to liquor.
Yeah.
We have access to rallies. We have access to that. We don't have
Processed
access-
food.
Right, and we're taught that. I mean, I went to Mike's Market on 7 in Livernois maybe like a couple weeks ago, and as soon as you walk in, you see the chips and the cookies and whatnot. You got to go down a little bit to get to the produce section. And nobody's in the produce section because that's not the sexy thing to go get.
Yeah.
But we gotta get better about what we're putting in our bodies. I'm not dropping at 50 from a heart attack. I got to at least live to 80 so I can leave my kids some cash.
I'm trying to
I
get
can't.
to 101.
Well, yeah. I mean, because look, here's the thing: we work our entire life. I'm not dying before I can enjoy some of my money, man. So
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing for me. You asked me what triggered it. It was more so a financial reason, because if I can stay in the game long enough, I'm going to make over $1 million. I can make $10, $15 million if I can keep my health together. Yeah. If I can keep my body in shape, I can live. It doesn't matter what I'm making today. I can make it, 3 times that in another 10 years.
And that's a double-edged sword. Not just looking at, the today. It's the long term. Like what can I? I'm a father of 5 myself, and as much as I think like retiring at 65 for me is not the plan when it comes to like working for somebody else. My dad really always preached to like, look, man, once you stop moving, when you stop working, like that's when you break down. Now, do I want to work 5 days a week in my 50s and my 60s? Nah. I come in the office 3 times, do some consulting. Y'all catch me on the golf course or, something else. But as long as I had the ability to get up and work and making money isn't cumbersome or taxing to my body, like I probably do some capacity of work until the Lord, call me home.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
100%. I mean, most of us have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be, I don't want to be 60 and a greeter at Walmart because I got to pay rent or I got to pay, like, that's the only way I'm going to pay my mortgage. Now I'm hoping that
we live in a society right now where that's the reality for,
that's a lot of people.
For the large majority of the country.
I don't want that for myself.
I get
is
it,
what I'm
100%.
saying. Like, I don't want that for myself.
Yeah. Save your money, man.
Yeah.
Save your money.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about health. Let's talk about a little bit about politics.
We could talk a little bit about politics. I want to talk a little bit first about local government management.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because that's my profession. There's always 2 sides. So there's a political side, and then there's the management side. And I'm more so on the management side.
So what do you mean when you say local government management?
So that we have a profession. My profession is public administration, and city management is my ultimate goal. It's not a profession that is publicized a lot. It's not a lot of minorities in the field. I'm trying to help kind of break those barriers down. But city managers run the day-to-day. So you have certain cities across the country, like San Antonio has a city manager, Dallas, Stockton has a city manager, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Cincinnati. I mean, there's more city managers than there are strong mayors, and a strong mayor would be somebody like Detroit or Chicago, where the mayor calls the shots. But a city manager is the one that calls the shots in the other cities. So you have the strong mayor, or you have a community where you have a strong manager. And that's ultimately what I'm aspiring to be as a city manager. So I work for Delta Township right now, which is in the Lansing area, and I'm overseeing their economic development work. So I just secured Amazon, which is coming to Delta Township. The GM battery plant, I know a lot of people heard about that. That's coming to Delta Township. I worked on that project. I've done a lot in terms of engaging smaller businesses to bring them into the Lansing Mall. So it's been a lot of things happening in Delta Township.
So with a company like Amazon, what is your role in helping to bring them to that community?
Well, I'm selling them on Delta. I'm selling them on why they would want to come and do business in the township. So I'm showing them our residents. I'm showing them what other businesses are there. I'm sending them different type of tax incentives that they can receive if they come to town. So I'm selling them on why they would want to do business in Delta Township.
Okay.
And for me, local government management is all about connecting people and providing exceptional customer service. And that's why I'm so passionate about trying to get more minorities into the field. I'm actually speaking. We have a conference. It's called the National Forum for Black Public Administrators, March 30th, so a couple weeks, March 30th through April 2nd in Grand Rapids. And I'm speaking on the Next Generation panel on the 1st of April. So if anybody's in Grand Rapids, you should definitely come out and check us out.
Man, that's interesting, man. Delta Township, do they have a mayor?
We have what's called a supervisor, which is basically the mayor, but the day-to-day operations are run by the township manager who's in place. And then there's so many other departments that you can get into, like finance. Every town's going to need a finance director. Economic development, which is what I do. You're going to have somebody that needs to do IT work, somebody that needs to do parks and recreations work. So there's so many careers that you can get into if you decide to work in local government. And I think that's really what I'm trying to emphasize for more people to get into the profession.
I definitely think we need to be in every facet of government and management as well. It was interesting because, Detroit had a city manager for a moment.
Emergency manager.
Yeah. Kevin Orr, if I'm not mistaken. When Anthony Adams was here, he kind of spoke about that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I'm the acting mayor and I got to go check with somebody else in order to do different things or whatnot. And it was, some people can see that as a conflict if there is a mayor as well as, or emergency city manager. But if we are in every position in government, I mean, that's something that shouldn't necessarily happen. We should have some sort of influence. Bringing companies to different locations is really, really important. And when you mention that, like I'm selling them on the people here, I imagine that you can let me know if I'm on the right page. That sales pitch could be, we have 4 high schools here that graduate X amount of kids in working age in a certain amount, and our median age in this demographic is 34 years old, and things of that nature.
Sure. And then how do you sell a business on why they would want to, or how they would recruit those people? So I used to work in workforce development too before I did economic development. So I understand apprenticeship work. I understand that, on the job training, how do you recruit top talent to do certain jobs? But right now it's a tough market because everybody is either hiring. Nobody's really out here looking for work. So everybody's hiring. And if you have a good talent, you're scared to death because they could leave at any moment. So it's just a different workforce now. You mentioned working from home, which I'm envious. We don't get a chance really to do that in local government. And I think that's where we really fall behind. We're going to lose a lot of talented people because our systems are just outdated. We need to have a way that we can allow people that can work from home to work from home.
Because what did y'all do during the pandemic?
Well, for us personally, I mean, we were kind of hybrid. So, but because we're providing services to residents, like the residents are our customers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than running a business, except we're not in it to make a profit. We're in it to just provide services to you. Our profit is the tax revenue we get from you. And it's difficult because when your customers come in to see you and they have a complaint about, a water issue or sewer issue, trash issue, somebody's got to be there. So I think it's tough for local governments to really adjust to the new way of the hybrid world.
I'm seeing that a lot, that like people, that's the only way the people to stay competitive in certain fields is to offer like that work from home or hybrid type of option, because with the type of work that I do, I'm in leadership, but I don't necessarily need to be in the office because I'm not client facing.
Right.
My clients or our customers necessarily call in, the communication is either through phone or through email. So it's not imperative that I'm there every day. And it's a selling point, but for certain jobs, certain industries, you need the bodies there. And it's more than just, can we recruit them? But retention is like for the type of work that I do, the retention is the hardest part of my job, because if you're not paying, number one, if you're not offering people something that they want, work from home is attractive.
Yeah.
But beyond just the work from home, where 3 years ago people were complaining about people getting $15, $16 an hour. Like my 16-year-old daughter is making like $14 an hour at her job. I was an adult before I crossed over to that type of money. And now like that's what she's used to. You have to now pay people what they feel that what the workforce demands.
Oh yeah.
And that $15 ain't what it was when you made $15.
No, it wasn't.
This is $8.50.
I was making $15 living in an apartment.
Yeah.
Like,
so for the 14, 15-year-old right now making $15 an hour, that's the equivalent to our $8.50 when we was that age.
I mean, I always tell people, especially younger folks, because I'm not too far from you guys in terms of age, but I always tell younger folks, like, get as much education as you can. If you don't want to go to college, that's cool. Get into a trade, though.
Yeah.
Have a skill, because you need it now.
Yeah.
You need a skill.
Be able to do something that people will give you money to do.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, like, what can you do? What will someone be willing to pay you to do? And it can't be reading out loud or something like. Well, I guess it could be, depending on what it is.
I always remember my high school counselor telling me, because I was, I talk very openly about it. Like I was lost in 12th grade. Like I just wanted to be done with school. I didn't have a plan. I knew I wasn't going to a 4-year university because my grades, just didn't balance out for me to go somewhere like Eastern or State or whatnot. And I was literally lost. And I remember my 12th grade counselor telling me, he's like, look, the best place for you to be in the next 2 to 3 years is in some type of learning environment. You have to get around other people that your age that are learning a tangible skill. Even if you don't stay in that field, it will open up doors and possibilities just being around other like-minded individuals. And I, out of high school, I went to Specs Howard for broadcasting at 18. I spent, I graduated like, all teenagers do, June. And I didn't do anything for like 6 months. I was just floating. And my dad had a conversation with me, like I was working, but I'm working at Wendy's and I had some telemarketing job I was doing. And he was like, look, man, either you're going to work full time or you're going to go to school full time or you're going to get out my house. And I just was like, I ain't ready to pay rent yet. I knew these jobs I was working really wasn't going to go nowhere. And I just remember going through like a stack of brochures that I had at the crib, and it didn't have like the GPA requirement. Like I had no interest in radio or TV, but I was like, it's school and this seems like something I'm lightweight interested in. And I went there, but that opened up my eyes to like, okay, I can do something more than just the regular 4-year university route or going to a trade school. Like I don't want to work with my hands. I don't want to get dirty to make my money. I was like, okay, this is a way I can still do something skill wise with a different set of skills that I don't have to be in school for 4 years for. I don't have to go through an apprenticeship program. And like, I remember at the time they was telling us like, if you coming out of school working in radio, like don't expect to make more than like 25, 30 grand the first couple of years. I was 18 working at Wendy's, like I had made more than 12 grand. So like to me, $25,000, $30,000, I was like, oh, this It's a lot of money. Like in my mind, like that was a lot of money. Like this is where I need to be at.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, the times have changed for sure. So it's just all about how do you leverage what you know?
Yeah.
How do you leverage what you know to get what you want?
And the younger that you get into something, like you have the opportunity to grow. It's so hard to move backwards, and you start having a family and doing what you got to do to take care of them. Now you decide, well, I want to go to school for this and that. The sacrifices, the things that you have to move around, the money that you still have to make to maintain your lifestyle, as well as, learning these new skills or trying to pick up on these new things. It just becomes more difficult the older that you wait to do it.
I got a question, right? So from the government management side, who hires you? You know what I mean?
The township manager.
And I asked that.
Or the city manager, yeah.
So no one votes, essentially.
No, so there's really, and like I said, my profession is not highly publicized.
Yeah.
But there's two forms of local government. You have the strong mayor form, and then you have the weak mayor form, or I call it the strong manager form, where the city manager is in charge of the day-to-day operations, and the mayor is more so just the figurehead. So, for example, like Farmington Hills or Troy.
Like the United States.
But like we have a lot of suburban communities like Sterling Heights, Troy, Farmington Hills, Southfield, Novi, Auburn Hills, like they all have city managers. So
not necessarily larger metropolitan areas.
Yeah, larger metropolitan areas too, like San Antonio, Dallas. Dallas has a city manager that makes like $800,000 a year. He runs the city. He runs the day-to-day operations.
I guess that would be depending on what side of the coin you is, that can cause some tension in communities, right?
Well, it can, only from the standpoint if the mayor doesn't understand their role, if the mayor doesn't understand that they're not the one that runs the show.
I mean, from the people though, right? So
no,
if the
not
people,
from the people.
If the people want something and they reach out to the mayor like, no, we don't like this. And the mayor like, yeah, I ain't really make this decision. Like, I don't know. Do the people understand that the mayor?
I'm sure the people in those communities have to understand the hierarchy. Maybe a little. I would think. So, like, if Detroit, for example, had a day-to-day city manager, I'm sure he would be a visible figurehead. Where like,
who's the visible manager of this country?
So
do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying the president ain't making all the decisions, right?
That's starkly different.
It is. We're talking local government, bro.
I'm just saying for you to make the assumption like, I assume they know. No, most people don't.
But I'm saying like the president has Congress. Like the hierarchy is a little bit different. Like if Kwame was the mayor or Mike Duggan is the mayor, if there was Joe Duggan that reported up to Mike and we knew I'm sure he would be out on the forefront, or I'm assuming he would be out on the forefront just a little bit for people to know who Joe is.
How long did we work in Sterling Heights? You ever heard that before? Did you know they had a city manager?
But I didn't live in Sterling Heights, so I was not invested in the community.
You spent more time there than you spent at your house.
Yes, I did, but like I'm a visitor to Sterling Heights. I'm not a tax-paying citizen of this city.
I get it. What I'm saying is you lived you worked in a community, you shopped in the community, you went to places in the community, and you had no idea how the government was set up, right?
So Sterling Heights has a great city manager, by the way, probably one of the best in Michigan. So
Sterling Heights is
But again, I'm not invested in this community. Like why do I don't vote here, I don't have a house here, I don't pay city taxes here. And we were 18, 19 at that job. Like, I didn't know what was going on in Sterling Heights.
You stayed there how long you worked there?
I worked for Comcast for 14 years. I almost said 19.
Don't say you was 18, 19. You was an adult.
No, I'm saying when I started there, but like, I'm not, still as an adult, I was a Detroit city resident. I'm invested in the community in which I lived in. I didn't care nothing about what was going on in Sterling Heights. I knew the only... I guess political figures I knew were like judges I saw in court, but like I don't know who's running the city in Sterling Heights. You couldn't tell me who the mayor was during that time that we worked out in Sterling Heights.
Well, he used to come to the building.
What's his name? What was his name?
Yo, he had this little.
No, don't describe him. Tell me his name.
I don't know his name.
Okay, because you didn't care neither. Like, don't just put it off on me. Like, you weren't invested in that community either.
Where I mean, I wasn't trying to make an argument about that we should be invested. I'm just saying that I don't know that the average person is involved in that. The average person don't vote here in the city of Detroit. So
for instance, where we are right now, Oak Park has a city manager. You know, but yeah, I mean, I think that, and that's why I'm, bringing this up because I mean, it's my profession, and we're not as well known. We kind of play a back seat because we don't. Well, I mean, we're not here to get like I'm not running for office. Like I'm not. We're not trying to get elected. We're really just the public administrators that make the city move. And that's what we gain from it, is that we're really just in it to provide exceptional customer service. Okay.
So you kind of deferred to like the day-to-day operations as a city manager. Give me a rundown or a skeleton.
That's where you want to be at some point.
Like what does a typical day look like for a city manager?
There's no typical day. So view it as you're the CEO of the city, right? So you're running a business, except your business is the city. So 8:30, you might have a staff meeting to talk about the budget. 10 a.m., you might have to go over to the fire department because there was a fire last night. You need to figure out what happened. 11 o'clock, you might have to go over to the police station because there was a shooting that took place the past night. You need to figure out what happened there. You might need to go in and talk to your building department because a new business is coming in town, and you need to make sure that the building is properly inspected. You might need to go talk to your economic development person because there's a new project that's coming to town. You might need to talk to your planning department about a particular zoning request that's coming. So no one day is alike, but you're constantly moving. And
so they essentially have. So this, I don't want to sound ignorant, but like before you said city manager, like it could have been a pit bull working behind the desk. I just didn't know that, you have your hands involved in literally everything.
Yes.
Like the mayor. Well, like a mayor should in a different government format.
Do you think a mayor is coming out for it's shootings every day in Detroit? Every day. You don't see Mike Duggan every day at a press conference in regards to a shooting.
I mean, the city manager ain't about to go on every shooting either. He talking about water prices, water pressure, this, like everything. So in certain cities or certain townships or whatever, they have one particular format, and then you have another format. One is not, I don't know, I can't really say one is better than the other because you would have to live in the same area and experience both to figure out which is quote unquote better than the other. If you had an opportunity, clearly we know you want to be there. So if you had an opportunity to be a mayor of a city or a city manager of another area, which would you select?
City manager. That's my profession. I'm not into politics. Really, I'm a public administrator, and like I said, I'm a member of ICMA. That's our professional organization, the International City/County Management Association. I'm also a member of the National Forum for Black Public Administrators. As I mentioned, we're going to have a conference. I'll be speaking on one of the panels. In my profession, being the city manager is the highest honor because you get a chance to impact the community at the greatest level.
I think I would probably go the city manager route myself, personally. I think that this is just me. I think the difference is I'm more analytical than I am emotional. So I can make decisions just based on let's just make the best decision because this makes the city better X amount of years in the future. And the mayors or the other side have to worry about how everybody feel and how is this going to look.
Sure.
And, this may not be the best PR move and such and such, but I know this other decision is the right decision. And in the city manager position, the reason I would take it is because I don't answer to y'all. Yeah. I answer to whoever hired me, or who hires the city manager?
The mayor and the council. So they hire the city manager.
Yeah. So I don't kind of answer to y'all. So I'm just gonna make the decision that makes the best sense, that makes the most money, that makes the most resources or whatnot, and I don't have to deal with the emotional side, for lack of a better word. I don't know how to say that, but I would go that route personally, because I know that this, I was hired for a reason. I was hired for my vision, and I can execute that, and I don't really got to worry about nothing else. I'm gonna go here, execute, and then you'll see that I was right.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I hear different aspects of the job. It's a lot of project management. There's a lot of the side of being in the dealing with the public, but how does that career pathing sort of look like to become a city manager? Because I would like to think, and no knock to you, because you my brother, I love you, but like at our age, I think I don't know how I would transition into that next aspect of that field. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the best way to do it is, of course, go to college, get a bachelor's degree. But in my profession, they really look for an MPA, so a Master's of Public Administration. Because again, in a lot of ways, it's like the private sector, except you're running a public organization. But in fact, we still call it like if I was talking to one of my colleagues, we still talk about the business, like how'd you get into the business? And how I got into the business was I started working for the city of Centerline. I was their economic development director. And then from there, went to Delta Township. But prior to that, I even worked for the state of Michigan. So I've been in the public administration realm. Just always knew I wanted to be in local government. I saw an opportunity in Centerline. I jumped on it. And, once you're in the door, you can kind of maneuver around, and that's what I've been able to do.
What gave you the bug to want to do city government?
Well, both of my parents worked in the public sector, so I had a chance to watch them. I mean, neither one of them were city managers, but I had a chance to see that they were fulfilled working in the public sector, and I figured if it was good enough for them, it was good enough for me. I've had some really good mentors in the public administration and the city management world. So I said, I think I would really enjoy being a city manager and listening to residents and hearing them out and how I can help them. Because, if you're having an issue with your sidewalk, or if you're having an issue with your trash, or if you're having an issue with your neighbor, I mean, you need to come and talk to City Hall. We're your first lines of defense. And I don't think people really realize that, local government is so impactful in everything that you do.
Yeah, that's dope.
You never, I think you make a good point that like people don't know where to start with those type of issues and problems. And the only reason I have like any working knowledge, I remember like I had an economics class that I took in college. I went to community college, and to get extra credit, you had to go down. He gave us like a Detroit town hall scavenger hunt, and I had to go down to like City Hall and speak to someone in this department, and like maneuvering around those areas is where I found, well, no, if waste management ain't coming to pick up your trash every 2 weeks, and you call them and they don't do anything about it. No, there's somebody down in City Hall that you can talk to about your trash not getting picked up. They done miss your bulk day 3 weeks in a row. You can go down there and talk to somebody and like have a face-to-face conversation to voice these displeasures, because the first thing, you don't know who to call until you're in those type of situations, and by the time you're in them, you're racking your brain on who can I reach out to kind of make those type of changes.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
I wonder what's the next move to, so if you live in this Metro Detroit area, you listen to WJLB or whatnot, right? How do I find out who's running for it? Like, if you don't live in Redford, like, you're not seeing nothing on television saying that this person is up for this election or whatnot. Like, I guess we got to get a better.
You got to use that $1,000 computer in your hand and do some Googles.
Yeah, but most people don't. You know what I'm saying? The 73-year-old such and such, she ain't.
No, that's who does know. That's who does know.
Yes, us that is people in our age range and younger that don't know.
Yeah, that's who does know.
Well, man, that's a lot. That's a lot of information, man. And I don't know that everybody knows about that. And I mean, somebody listening may want they may want to go down that road or want to encourage their children to go down that road. And that's just another viable option where you can impact your community in a major way.
Absolutely.
So I know you said you're a busy man, and we appreciate your time and your schedule. Before you slide out, is there any social media, any contact information you can leave for people to get in touch with you? If they have questions. I know you're speaking, real soon in the Grand Rapids area. If you can leave us with any info, we appreciate it.
Sure. I'm on Instagram. That's like the only social media platform I have. I can't say I check it all the time, but do send me a request. I'll be happy to connect with anybody. CFAMAYSING. Again,
Okay.
That's CFAMAYSING. Also, I'm chairing an event that's taking place next summer called the Soul of Philanthropy. It is a dedication to Black giving. It's a dedication to not only Black giving in terms of dollars, but community champions, those that have given their time, resources, talents. We've secured dates for June through August of next year. It's going to be at the Detroit Historical Museum. Also, we're going to be partnering with different art galleries in the city, partnering with different Black-owned businesses in the city. It's going to be a huge event, so more details to come on that. But it's probably going to be the biggest.
Come on back once you. We would love to help and champion and get behind that.
And I like to come. So
the Soul of Philanthropy, I'm telling you, it's going to be the biggest thing in Detroit. So
all right, we look forward to it.
Right.
We look forward to it. We appreciate your time, good sir.
Appreciate you, brothers.
that was a good guess, man.
Yeah. I never knew what a city manager. I never heard that term before an hour ago.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think it's dope. I mean, you heard the term city manager, but
Didn't just no clue what it did, what the job, what the role encompassed. So.
Yeah. So that's pretty dope, man. I mean, that may be something that the folks want to, people like, I want to be the mayor, I want to be the governor, maybe you just want to be a city manager if that's what your township or your community has.
Yeah. But there's a lot of different roles in city government. Not everybody. There's only going to be one mayor. Not everybody can be mayor, but you can do something else to impact the community in which you live in.
Like so the only other thing is it's like, so remember when I was like a couple weeks ago, I was like, listen, if DPS has been in control all these years and it's still not working, maybe you should give it to the state. And it was like, nah, I want someone local that I can Depending on what area that you live in, depending on who your city manager is, you ain't got no say so. I'm gonna do what's best, and you can't oust me out of office because you ain't elect me.
Yeah.
I got hired.
I'm on contract or something.
Yeah.
I'm here for the next 4 years.
Yeah. So I mean, there are always, like, if you live in an area that has been voting and electing certain people, and they say, no, we about to switch to something, I think that's going to be a hard sell. But if you grew up in an area that way and this is how it's always been and you love the community that you live in. It
can be a hard sell, but at the end of the day, it's for the benefit of the community. And if you can
So get rid of DPS. Let the state take it over, man.
State.
I mean,
I'm just gonna say state feel white, and I don't feel like white people should.
You think the city managers are black?
Look, this good brother right here, he might have been light skinned, but he was black. This good brother trying to be city manager.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, I know we are out there, but I don't want to give control over black children to the state. I just don't. It doesn't sit right in my spirit.
You think the state is racist? Because it's more white kids in school than it is black kids.
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about my babies in DPS. And when I say my babies, I'm not just talking about my children. I'm talking about the collective of black and brown babies in DPS. And I don't know if the state of Michigan is going to have their best interest at heart. I just don't. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe the state got the answer, but I'm not willing to find out.
The people who manage in DPS clearly don't have the answer.
Just wait till my babies get out of school and no, just no.
It's an emotional pick you picking right now.
It probably is, but I don't have
enough. Because he was just saying you on that shit.
I don't have enough facts to.
Fact of the matter is, them schools get worse and worse every year, and we won't let nobody else have a shot at it.
Not all of them. There's still some great schools in the city.
Name them.
Renaissance,
great.
Cass Tech.
Compared to?
Cass Tech is a world-class school. World-class.
Compared to?
Other schools across the nation. What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying you can look at test scores and stuff, and the best ones that we have in the city of Detroit, not historically, but like currently, sometimes they don't match up.
Cass is the launch pad for Black excellence in the city of Detroit.
All right, well, everybody don't go to Cass.
Renaissance High School is one of the best high schools in the city of Detroit, in the state. Academic wise, they are.
Okay.
They are.
So
now, not every child gets that same level of education that Renaissance, Cass, and even King provide. You know, some of them are getting.
This is just pure me talking off the cuff. I possibly think that the education you can get at Cass and Renaissance and King, which is the top upper echelon in the city of Detroit, may be basic education in other white communities. Like that may be the standard.
Maybe.
What we think is the top of the top, that could be the standard. I don't got no numbers. I'm just spitballing, but it's like that'll be fucked up. If the best that we got is the standard and everybody underneath Cass and King and Renaissance not even getting the standard.
I just don't. I mean, that would be detrimental to me. I'll be honest. As a parent of children in some of these schools, like I would hope that my children get the
stack up well.
I don't
like
want. I just hope that they're just not
well.
average. I would hope that they are still above average institutes of learning. That's my honest hope. I just don't feel. I feel like every child should have, access to a quality public education. Like that's the bare minimum that we can give to these babies. It's just access to a quality public education.
And for some reason, we can't manage to do that. The finances are done in a way that it just don't seem like that's getting done. Now, I don't know why it's not getting done. Is it somebody holding back funds and resources? Is it mismanagement of funds and resources? I'm not sure. But at some point, we're going to have some teachers on from the city of Detroit and have some conversations about it off of the camera, but audio. We won't say your names because, y'all
still got professions and you got to go to work every day.
Because something got to give. It's getting worse. More so, America as a whole is getting worse. We like 16th. Our education is like 16th in the country. I mean, in the world. We ain't number one.
Compared to how many nations?
The rest of them.
I'm saying like 16 could be still in like the upper tier. I don't know. All right, man. All right.
I'm just saying. Who knows, man?
I just want the best for these black and brown babies.
But what if the best makes you uncomfortable?
Unpack that a little bit for me. What you mean?
So what if the best option for them is not the same way it's been done since the beginning of time?
Oh, I think that the way teaching or schools have been presented is antiquated. I think it needs a complete scrub down and rehaul. And I'm not saying that us in America are doing it the right way. Like shit could be hella wrong. I'm completely open to retooling that.
I mean, retooling the management of it, because niggas been learning in the classroom since the beginning of time. And America is no different than fucking the UK. Them motherfuckers is in a classroom and there's a nigga at the front of the board with a chalk. Like the process is the process. You know what I'm saying? Like learning didn't change, right? But like something is changing with like the management style or the finances or the resources. Now, we gonna have Chuck back on pretty soon. I was watching a video in regards to what's that big fight that everybody having? Critical race theory.
Right.
I'm gonna send it to you so you can. It's about an hour. I sent it to Chuck and he said he got a lot to talk about. I agree with damn near everything that was in it. It was just two white people talking to a black woman about critical race theory and the fact that it's not being taught in elementary schools and middle schools. It's a college course for law students, by the way. But like, damn, I lost my fucking train of thought. Long story short, the way that we handle certain things, I don't know that it's right. I don't know if it's because we're not teaching it. I don't know if it's the mismanagement of funds, mismanagement of resources, if redlining and different things Oh, this is what it was. That's why I brung her up. So she mentioned that the amount of money that your school gets is based on the census data.
Right.
And taxes, right? But if you live in an area that's been redlined or the value of the homes have been run down so much, then the taxes, the money that you get in taxes ain't shit. So by default, I'm not giving money to this particular area because ain't no money. Y'all don't live in an affluent enough area. And her argument was like, school funding shouldn't be about that. You a school, you should get this amount of money. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. And I don't got no fucking kids in school. I don't personally have kids in school. I got nephews and nieces in school, but I don't have no kids in DPS right now. So I don't know. You do.
Yeah, man. I'm not opposed to I'm not opposed to things being retooled or things being managed differently. I just don't know if I want the state to have it. That's all I'm saying.
I get it.
But, you know, I've never run a school. I've never run a school district. So, I mean, I'm just a concerned parent. So, like, you know, maybe I'm not the most qualified to give an opinion on this. I just know I want what's best for my children.
Oh, you got to be the most qualified. You the parent of the kids. You know what I'm saying?
So, how I look at education is kind of twofold, because I look at both my high school age kids. My daughter thrives in the traditional school setting, you know, going to school every day, moving from class to class. She just liked being in high school. She liked that experience. My son that's in 9th grade, he don't like that shit. Virtual learning worked out a lot better for him and his learning style because he doesn't like to be confined to a chair for 8 hours a fucking day. And I think there should be K-12.com. It's an online. He can do online. It is, but I mean, it's a harder sell than just me putting my foot down. Like, I got to get buy-in from his mother as well. Like, it's a joint effort. And, you know, she feels a little bit differently than how I feel. She would rather him be in a more traditional setting because she feels he needs a different level of structure. But for me, I think he thrives better in the online environment, or maybe like a hybrid environment for school might work better, where maybe he's just in the classroom 2 days a week and goes to school online for the other 3. Like, I could see maybe that being our go-between, but I haven't found any option with school that's going to offer that for him as of yet. So, you know, but I'm open to things being and looking different for these children in order for them to be successful. So that's all I got.
Yeah. You got a music pick?
I do got a music pick, but it's only on YouTube right now. It's the homie Bruiser Wolf. Shout out to the Bruiser Brigade. I've had the opportunity to kick it at the Bruiser House, which is an experience within itself. But Bruiser Wolf dropped a new video for his new single. It's called Freak. And I love the way Bruiser Wolf raps. Like it's real whimsical. It's full of metaphors. But shout out to the homie Bruiser Wolf and Freak. You can throw that in there whenever you get the opportunity.
All right. Whose man's is this? Man, somebody sent me some shit earlier today. Kind of irritating me, dog. Charles Pugh's home.
I saw that. I was hoping we were going to talk about that, but I'm glad you brought that up for whose man's is this. I'm going to let you cook, though.
Charles Pugh, Foolish, Reggie Reg, Coco, Shawnee D are getting together and creating a grown folks radio.
Online radio station.
Yeah. No, I'm not for it. You don't get to have sex with children and be welcomed back into the community. Like, you don't get to have sex with a 14-year-old boy.
I'm not making it any better. He was a minor.
But 17-year-old is who brung the charges. What he actually went to jail for and that came out later was a 14-year-old boy.
Do you feel like after someone does their time,
No,
they should be
you cannot have sex with a child and be welcomed back into the community.
I am completely fine with that. I just wanted your opinion. That's all.
Some things is not redeemable, and you having sex with children is not redeemable quality. You can't be welcomed back into the community with that. You should be ostracized. I'm not saying physical harm should be done with you, but you should not be welcomed back into a community. And no, like the reason that you were able to do that because you held a higher social position because you was on radio and television. So you don't come home.
And because he was the city council president for some time also. Yeah.
So you don't get to come. Like I was reading through some of the transcripts and what was said like this. No, you cannot be welcomed back into the community with that type of shit. And I don't support it. Whose man's is this? And I'm surprised of who's supporting.
A lot of people in Detroit are supporting Charles Pugh, but
I'm talking about with this business. I don't know what I'm surprised. I'm not going into a business with a nigga who got that on his rap sheet. I'm definitely not listening.
I understand.
Like, damn, at some point, they always talk about, black folks way too forgiving. Nigga, what our own too? Nah, I'm straight. Hell no. Hell no.
Say it one more time.
Nigga, I listened to the video. Let me bring this up. I'm not even putting this nigga voice on this pod. Talking about we also have to have some tough conversations about where I've been and really just making bad decisions. No, my nigga. It's
sex with a child is that goes beyond a bad decision.
Having porn on your fucking computer screen while you interacting with children and offering people money for offering children money for sexual acts. That's not a mistake. That's not I made a poor decision. No, that's a very calculated decision, my nigga. If you want to live a particular lifestyle, go live that lifestyle with adults.
Facts.
Who cares what you are? Do that shit with adults.
Yeah, we're not condemning,
Like you want to pay children? Like you have a come on, man. Come on, man. We canceled Bill Cosby, right?
We did.
And we canceled R. Kelly, right?
We did.
I don't get it.
But
these ain't allegations. These is facts.
Did we cancel them because they are larger figures? Because they're more well-known figures?
No. If you found out the nigga next door to you was fucking kids, you not fucking with them no more. It's going to be a lot of fist and feet action on my man next door.
We got to run him off the block.
Because you're a child predator and you have to register, just like Charles Pugh was registered as a child predator.
Yeah.
So no, we don't fuck with them. Knowingly.
But are people so enamored with his celebrity, I guess, that
ain't nobody listening to that shit.
I'm just saying, like, being a local Detroit celebrity has its own amount of perks that come with it. Are people more enamored with who Charles Pugh was that they are more willing to accept him back into the community? Who he was just as a figure wise.
My opinion, hell no. And I don't think nobody's gonna listen to that shit. We like Foolish. We like Reggie Reg, Shiny D and Coco. We like y'all. I'm not listening to that shit. All of them been in this room except Reggie Reg.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not listening to that shit. I get it. If that's your man's, you trying to stand with your man's, whose man's is this? Clearly that's your man's. Nah, can't rock with it. And if you want to rock with a child chomo, can't rock with you either.
I'm cool with banging the gavel on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a line. That's it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that one.
I think that's pretty much it, though.
That's it. Another successful episode of Shop Talk Podcast. It's time for the benediction. I feel like that's just a part of the episode that we say it.
Oh, shit.
That's how we laying this. You just be better off just putting the music in, Jay.
Man, man. Go ahead. Say your shit, man.
Look, man, it's your man Dave, 3_313 on IG and on Twitter. This sounds so poor. Look, when you see me, at me, talk to me, or talk back. Look, bitch, when you see the blue and the black, you know where you at. It's Shop Talk Podcast Studio, shoptalkpod.com. Book some time.
Yo, another week in the books. Shout out to y'all for fucking with us. Shout out to our guest, future city manager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Put it out there.
Absolutely.
We got friends in high places.
Hell yeah. When you see the blue and the black, you know you at Shop Talk Podcast Studio. Book some time. I'm not saying we the Rockefeller Podcast, but we are Jane Dane.
Hell yeah.
Peace. Shit was ghetto, but it is what it is, nigga.
That's not what people know us for, Jason.
I ain't get over it. And I'm leaving that in. Pause.